Hello. Is it my turn to jump on the bandwagon yet? Although it's not really a bandwagon at this point, it's actually like an actual real problem, so I guess, we should probably actually talk about it. Oh well. So hi, so most of you probably don't give a shit, but, as of today, I no longer have a World of Warcraft subscription. And that is a really weird thing to say, because I think I've had a World of Warcraft subscription for about as long as I've been alive, almost, which is weird. Because, like, World of Warcraft came out in 2004. I was like 9 at the time, and I've had a subscription basically since then. And yeah, it's just weird to think that this game that functionally was there for like the entirety of my childhood is no longer there. And all of my friends that I made while playing it, and all of like the formative experiences, they are in a game that no longer exists and maybe never existed. Who fucking knows, right? But I'm playing 14 now. And I mean, like, I already had played 14 a little bit, like when I was waiting for Shadowlands to come out. Like, I had like started 14 and I was like, okay, well, let's see what this is about. Oh, fucking Shadowbringers has come out. Okay, well, let's see. Let's see what's going on here. What's going on. It's like, oh, hey, it's a MMO with a story that seems to actually matter. What the fuck? Like, the gameplay is not that bad. Like, I don't really care for this, like, long GCD, but, it's alright. Like, okay. And I played through it, and I did a bunch of dungeons, and the entire time I was like, oh yeah, no, this is good, but, like, it's not gonna replace, like, my main MMO of choice, or, anything. And I think I was overdosing on copium at the time. Because looking back, WoW has had problems for the longest time, and it's not been just because of BFA. I think, like, we started seeing the issues rise their heads at the end of Legion, and it's definitely something that they really needed to work on, and they just never did, just because, it's Blizzard. Like, we could do no wrong. We're Blizzard, right? We made, like, the biggest MMO ever. Haha. And I think the news that Final Fantasy, like, actually eclipsed World of Warcraft, I think was, like, the first thing that kind of made me, like, wake up and go, oh. Oh, shit. Shit's going down. And it's kind of weird. It's just kind of weird to think about. Like, phew. Just... Yeah, like, the fact that Blizzard themselves don't seem to give a shit. Like, every day, like, I still follow, like, the Blizzard, like, news Twitters, and I'm just like, okay, well, let's see what's happening, maybe they'll turn it around, and, I've been saying, maybe they'll turn it around for, like, over a fucking year now, and everything I hear is real fucking bad. It's like, oh, well, we think all of this, every race having unique starter gear that looks different, that could be taken as racist. Now everyone has generic starter gear. Everyone starts with human-looking robes. Even if you're an orc living in the middle of a desert. When the previous orc mage starting gear was a really cool, like, tribal sort of dress thing. And was pretty cool. Oh man, that idle camera really... That idle camera really, picked the right guy to go on, huh? But, it's just really just weird to think that. And then it's like, they're removing a bunch of lore stuff that was added in this expansion. And it's not even, like, bad lore, like, as well. It was, like, the good parts of the lore, like, stuff that was old stuff that, was being expanded on, like with Jaina and her parents and all that shit. Like, that's gone as of next patch. Just a whole bunch of things. And like, then, Kel'Thuzad comes back, and he's one of my favorite fucking Warcraft villains. Turns out, no, he was not the guy we thought he was. He was just a patsy for the jailer, and everything we've seen him do up to this point was all bullshit and all him lying. Which is really fucked up, because one of the best dynamics in the entire fucking game was with him and Arthas, and this whole thing of they're evil, and, you know, they want to drown the world in undead and all that, but they respect each other, and now that's gone. Turns out that was all a lie. Fucking Kel'Thuzad was only pretending to respect Arthas, when really, he was actually Arthas' boss the whole time. Not to mention the fact that Arthas is, like, completely MIA from the story, despite the fact that he should canonically have been met at least once. And even if he does show up, I really don't want to fucking see him again. If only because I know they're gonna fuck it up. Like, the fact that Blizzard, like, the company that I took a lot of my initial, like, early storytelling lessons from, like, the fact that I cannot trust them to use a character I really like, that hurts. Like, the old Blizzard that actually wrote stories that were interesting. They were a little pulpy and a little bit, you know, lowbrow sometimes. Like, I understand that, but I kind of like that in stories. Like, when I write a story, you know, like, putting in, like, a couple absurdist moments to offset, like, the dark shit, I love doing that. That's my favorite thing to do, and no one's complained about it yet. But now, Blizzard, I feel like they just don't know how to fucking write, and it's weird. God, I am kind of dancing on the issue, aren't I? I've been talking for 7 minutes, I haven't really gotten into it. But yeah, so I started with World of Warcraft when I was 9. I leveled up to 60. It took me for fucking ever, but I was a kid, so I had time. I got into a raiding guild, and I raided my way up, and I was playing a shaman at the time, a troll shaman. And I eventually, somehow managed to get myself into being raid leader, and no one realized that I was 9. They just thought I was a girl with a shitty mic, which is kind of ironic, now that you think about it. And so we raided Blackwing Lair, we raided Molten Core. I think Blackwing Lair was where I was raid leader. I think Molten Core was the old guy was still a leader. We raided through Nax. We got through like 1.5 wings, maybe? I don't know. I might be confusing that with something else. And it was just a fun time had by all, and I think it's some of my most cherished memories, even though I don't really even remember most of the names of the people that were there. Burning Crusade came around, we raided, we did all things, like the attunement things were a fucking chore, but, you know, we did all that shit. Like, most of the fucking guild left at some point, or, like, went off to other guilds. Like, they don't left the game, like, went and joined other guilds, because they had other interests. Guild, and, you know, and it was just really fun. We continued, we had a ton of fun. It was a lot of late nights. I got in trouble for staying up late a lot of time. It was honestly really fun, and it was some of the best times I ever had. You know, and by the end of Burning Crusade, the guild kind of fell apart around Sunwell, and then I joined a new one around Wrath of the Lich King, and we had a ton of fun. We had, you know, I'm not gonna say what the names of the characters were, even though it doesn't really fucking matter, because I actually do remember these people. You know, we raided Nax, we did all that. I wound up joining a different guild for ICC. We fucking murdered the shit out of the Lich King. Like, he got nerfed, like, once before we actually fucking downed him, which was kind of great. And then I was just having the absolute fucking time of my life, and then we hit Cataclysm, and things started to be like, that's weird. Then Goblins came out, but I was on the Alliance at the time, so I wound up making a bunch of Horde characters without telling my guild, and that was great. And like, now I think about it, it was just kind of a slow fall, like, after Cataclysm. And we had some bumps, like, fucking Mr. Pandaria was really good. Yeah, and then it started coming back down again. Warlord of Draenor was kind of not great, but it plateaued out, and it was still enjoyable. Like, the end game didn't have a ton of stuff in it, but, like, the leveling and everything else was really fun. Like, I loved making alts in Warlords. I think most of my alts originate from Warlords. And then we had, you know, Legion, and it was, like, fucking shot right the fuck back up. Like, not as high as, like, Wrath, but, like, almost there. And then BFA and Shadowlands has just been a continued, just straight fucking shot down to the bottom. And it's been really, really not fun. It's not fun to play. It's not fun to talk to people. The community aspect of the game is fucking dead. And I think the only reason that I've stuck with it as long as I have, and the only reason that a lot of people have stuck with it as long as they have, is purely because of fucking Copium, and that's really it. And, I think the thing that finally broke me out of it was, like, watching the Endwalker stuff and all the stuff that's coming out. So, you know, the Reaper coming out, all of the class reworks, to make things work a little better for the classes that aren't super good right now. The Sage, and just the fact that after the fan base has been shouting at Blizzard for years and years and years for transparency, for, hey, are you guys gonna fulfill this promise you gave us? Are you guys going to fucking talk to us at all? Are you guys gonna treat us anything more than fucking pay pigs? Are you guys going to fucking do anything whatsoever without a fucking gun to your head? And that's what 9.1.5 is. It is a gun to Blizzard's head. And they finally said, okay, we'll listen to your fucking feedback from over a year ago, and we're going to implement it. Despite the fact that most of those fucking complaints are really no longer relevant because new complaints take more priority, but not according to Blizzard. And on top of those fixes that they're putting in that we asked for, they're putting in a ton of shit that we didn't fucking ask for. Like, for example, like the, you know, aforementioned shit. Like, fucking removing, like, half the portraits in the game, and replacing them with fruit bowls. Like, what the fuck? Like, I guess everyone in Azeroth really loves their fucking potassium now. It's just real fucking annoying. For the first time in a long time while playing an MMO, I feel like I'm being listened to, despite the fact that most of that feedback is not from me specifically, because I was not playing Final Fantasy to that degree, right? But I still feel listened to, despite the fact that I didn't actually even say anything. Because, like a lot of the issues that are being fixed are stuff that, well, I had an issue with. I was like, fuck it, it's not my main game, so whatever, right? I'm not gonna kick up a stink. It's just how it goes. But no, they realize there's like, oh no, this mechanic doesn't work very well. We're gonna fix it. And it's just really, really hyper fucking transparent. And I honestly, like, I like it. I like it a lot. Like, when Blizzard announces at BlizzCon, you know, if they ever fucking do another one of those again, like, oh yes, so we're going to have this new feature, it's going to be called Garrisons, and you'll be able to place it anywhere on Draenor, and you'll be able to customize it to your race, or your class, or whatever, and you'll be able to do this, or this, and this. Even as far back as Warlords, when they announced that, I did not believe them. I wanted to believe them, don't get me wrong. I was playing a monk at the time, a Pandaren monk, and I wanted nothing more to be able to have my sick fucking Pandaren monastery up in the mountains of Blade's Edge, or whatever Blade's Edge would be at the time, which I think would be Frostfire. So on the top of a mountain in Frostfire Valley, and just fucking have a sick fucking monk monastery. Instead, I got a fucking hole in the ground covered in fucking wooden spikes and steel that looks very, very orcish. Despite the fact I decorated it with as much Pandaren shit as possible, the base of the thing was still a fucking orcish hole in a fucking valley. That's not on. And I didn't believe them when they said it. I wanted to, but I didn't. But then when Yoshi P comes out and he's like, oh yeah, so we're gonna have this thing in Endwalker, we're gonna have this Reaper thing, it's gonna work like this, we're gonna have this thing, it's gonna work like this, we're gonna have this mechanic, it's gonna work like this, like, I believe him. I actually believe him, because I've looked back at, like, the live letters and shit for, like, Shadowbringers, and it's like, well, fuck, like, 99.99% of this shit actually fucking happened. And that's rare. I hate that that's rare. I hate that that's rare for a fucking MMO developer to actually fucking do what they say they're going to do. And yeah, Blizz, and just on top of that, like, every fucking day, like, something new comes out of Blizzard that is them being assholes, or them destroying evidence, or them being sued, or them doing something fucking shady. And I am honestly done with it. I'm honestly straight up done with it. And I can honestly say I regret not doing this sooner. Like, I may have run out of shit to do in Shadow and Shadowbringers that I actually want to do at the moment, but that's not the game's fault. There's plenty of shit left to do. It's just shit that I personally did not want to do because it was not my main game. Like, oh, do you want to fucking level up all of the classes? I was like, ah, no, I've leveled up all the ones I want to level up. I'm done. I'm good. I leveled up Astrologian, Dark Knight, Gunbreaker, and Red Mage. Yeah, whatever. I'm good. I'm good, gamer. It's fine. That's all the classes I want to do. But, you know, now I'm like, you know what, maybe I'll try the other classes. So it's like, hey, do you want to level a profession? I was like, I don't really like how that mechanic works, so no thank you, gamer. They're fucking fixing it in Endwalker in a way that I like a lot more. But while still making it active instead of, like, fucking hit the button and then tab out for 3 minutes like World of Warcraft. It's, like, honestly, like, now that I've kind of made Final Fantasy my main game, I'm actually finding a lot more shit to do. Like right now, I'm leveling classes, for example. I'm collecting glamours. I'm making cute outfits for my character. Shit that I honestly was already doing in World of Warcraft, but I had a bitch of a time doing because of just how unfriendly that game fucking feels. Like, I'd already played through all the story, and I had paid attention to it, but, like, looking back on it and going back through the cutscenes, which, by the way, the fact you can look back on cutscenes, holy fucking shit, you can't do that in World of Warcraft. You want to see a cutscene again? Fucking level a new character, look it up on YouTube, fuck ass. But, like, also there's the fact that, like, my character is actually part of the cutscenes. Like, I feel like I'm part of the story instead of a fucking external third party. Like, champion, you gotta close the wounds! Like, fucking, I'm okay, I'm just the champion. I'm just the fucking grandmaster. I'm just the archdruid. I'm whatever, right? Like, I don't, in World of Warcraft, I don't feel like a part of the story. I feel like a fucking tag-along, while Jaina or Bolvar or Thrall have their thing. But here in Final Fantasy, I feel like my character, even though my character is, like, of course, is never, like, mentioned by name, you know, outside of unvoiced cutscenes, like, the Warrior of Light feels like a bigger part of the story than anything else, you know? Like, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, they feel like friends, and they treat your character like a friend, like an ally. And while there are things where it's like, okay, we can't really have the player dictate this massive fucking story moment, it doesn't really feel like you're a tag-along or out of character, because, like, you're still involved in those situations. You're still involved in those situations, even though you're not the one making, like, the big political decisions. Like, it's like, okay, so Alphino is going to go and talk to the ambassador. We need you to hang out with him and make sure he doesn't say anything fucking stupid. And that honestly feels like enough, like, you know? Because it feels like, despite the fact that Alphino is making that, you know, that conversation, he is having that conversation, he's talking to the ambassador, he's doing, you know, his diplomat shit, you also get the feeling that he's unsure, and you're there as his support, as you know, as his rock, as his friend. And when he does kind of lose steam, you kind of have that moment where your character's like, hey, bud, no, you got it, go, you got it, go, friend. Like, and that makes me feel like, you know, like I'm involved, and it's, I don't know, it's nice. It's very nice, actually. But yeah, that's, it's real nice, actually. Yeah, I like this game. I like this game a lot. I used to like World of Warcraft a lot as well. And I feel like with World of Warcraft, my enjoyment and my love and my attachment to the game has been taken advantage of, and I've just kind of been huffing copium for like the last 3+ years. And I I think I made fun of Final Fantasy before I played it, and even after I played it, I did make fun of it a little bit. And you're like, oh, it's the weeb game, haha, it's the weeb game, oh, look at my cat girl, oh, she's so cute, ah. But, no, unironically, I do like this game. I love the visuals, I love the music, I love that, even though I'm not a big fan of the majority of the mainline Final Fantasy games, like, I think, all of the Final Fantasy games, the ones I like, are very, very low. I mean, like, I like Final Fantasy VI is my favorite game of all time, but, like, the majority of the Final Fantasy series, I just do not fucking like. Like, 15, don't like it very much. 13, played it for 30 minutes, fucking lost my, like, bleh. 7, both versions, remastered and the original, absolute fucking garbo and rip-offs of 6. I just do not fucking like them at all. But even though I just do not like the majority of the series, I really enjoy this game, and even when there are callbacks to shit from the other Final Fantasy games, I don't feel left out, which is something that I honestly think that this game does really well. Better than Warcraft does, at the very least. Like, when I started playing World of Warcraft back in the day, I actually remember going online onto the fucking distant past of 2004 internet and finding an entire story breakdown of the first 3 Warcraft games just to fucking figure out what the hell was going on. And the fact I don't have to do that for Final Fantasy is honestly kind of nice, and I think it kind of plays to the fact that each Final Fantasy game is its own contained canon, and even though they have callbacks, it's still its own thing. But yeah. And also there's a lot of 6 in this game. You know, like a lot of it. Like, more so than like there is 7 or anything else. Like, so, you know. It's real nice. It's real nice, that one. Oh god. Oh god, my eyes are freaking out. My eyes are freaking out, and I think y'all can guess why. Oh, Jesus. Shut up. Shut up. But yes, I kind of just wanted to talk about this, because I've been seeing these videos up on YouTube a lot, but people talk about their experiences, and, I know my experience is not really all that unique, but I wanted to talk about it, and I wanted to kind of get it out there, and kind of just get it off my chest kind of thing, you know? Feel a lot better now. But yeah, I'm gonna be playing 14, that's gonna be my main MMO now, and if you want to play with me, then I'm on Ultros. I'm on Ultros on the Primal Data Center, because of course I went for the one named after a Final Fantasy VI character. Yeah, I mean, hey, if you want to start playing, I mean, it's free, like, up to the end of the first expansion, so hey, got, like, literally nothing to lose. And if you are a fellow WoW player, and you're just as fucked off with it as I am, then hey, like, feel free to come over, give it a try, I guess. Because I feel like you'll kinda, I feel like you'll feel at home a little bit. Like Final Fantasy is what WoW was supposed to be. And I hope to see you here. Fuck. But yeah, and even if you're already playing it, you're not on the Ultros data center, they're going to make it so that you can visit people in other data centers soon, so maybe I'll see you anyway. Oh boy, okay, I'm gonna turn this off now before I actually start properly crying. Fuck you, it's a fucking video game, what the fuck, Nas, you stupid fucking bitch, what the fuck?